talent. It just does the same thing.
Oh, man.
Please Collins, a.k.a.
I'm a little upset you're over here.
It's not gonna break, because these things, if you hit the ground with them, they will break like an egg.
Just shatter.
It'll crack like an egg, yeah. But this one here, I feel like I somehow acquire them through different events. I don't know. I've never
show up at venues and they have helmets.
Someone gives me these things, so
That's pretty cool.
So yeah. So anyway, that's where the helmet comes from. How are you guys? Woo! It's a very personal thing here, so I love it. It's kind of cool to go to a little bit smaller shows where you can kind of hang out.
Hear how much you enjoy the con circuit, what kind of the Power Rangers does for you for giving back to the fans and the cons and all that fun stuff you do to help the cause.
You know, it's funny when if some of you have heard the story, then I apologize. But it's when I first got off the show, when we filmed Power Rangers, I had auditioned. I had been doing soap operas and other stuff, and then this Power Ranger audition came up, and of course I was very familiar with the show. I'm like, oh, cool. Auditioned for Lost Galaxy, didn't get it. Second year they bring me back again. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Didn't get it. Third year back again, and I was on. I remember they keep bringing me back. So the third year, that role was just made for me.
Yes,
Wes is
February 3rd, 2001.
What day?
February 3rd, 2001, the first airing of Time.
That was the first airing, right?
Yes.
That's right. So
that
was a while ago. So that one came. Wes is very similar to who I am in real life, besides the wealthy upbringing. So that role aligned perfectly with me. I was so happy I got it because I got to play the two characters. But we filmed. To answer your question, we filmed straight for 8 months. We were every day filming. There were no appearances. There were no mall anything. There was no anything. It was we were just every day filming. And then by the time it was done, we were off. Right?
And does that cover multiple seasons that you filmed in that 8 months?
Well, there was a pending writer strike that was going to happen, so they had to get our stuff done. So we were working 6 days a week. So we never had time to enjoy being on the team. We were just every day on set.
Work.
Yeah. We'd be going in. Nobody would know. You know. We'd already filmed for 4 months before the first episode aired. So more for how would they want to be me? There's new Red Ranger suits, and it's like the guy in college coming back to the high school prom. What's he doing here, man? He was, they're like, don't trust this. Time Forces create this, this cult following. Okay, I'll go back. And I came back and there was this huge response. I was like, oh my gosh. So at that point, I realized how passionate this fan base is. And these conventions have given us the opportunity to come back and meet everybody. I think this is so cool. I would love if we had this when I was growing up. To meet, people that I watched on TV. So it just became a great give and take between the fans and us of like meeting everybody, enjoying it. Selfishly, I'm able to travel. I mean, I go to London Wednesday. So from Ellensburg, Washington to London.
That's a little bit of a jump.
So it's a little bit just a small. Yeah. And I think for you guys it's so cool because I think it's created this whole network of fans that are all becoming friends. And I know you guys have all met new people. I've met a lot of you guys. I've met these guys. Now there's this whole new friendship that's created up here and over there. And so I love doing it to meet everybody, and I think everybody likes doing it to kind of create these new bonds and friendships.
For sure. And I mean, we always, we've interviewed you a couple of times at RedCon and then at our Emerald City event. So I'm always trying to find new questions to ask you and new things to ask you. And I have something.
Good.
Because one of my favorite shows was Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah.
I found out that you were Alexander the Great, according to IMDb.
Yep.
And Deadliest Warrior, I think it was History Channel, and it basically pitted great warriors throughout history against each other and analyzed their weapons and the damage tests and armor and the whole 9 yards. And I mean, you were Alexander the Great. I kind of remember that episode. I mean, do you remember who you fought?
Yes. Well, so that was pretty cool. So I think during the age of as the MMA, UFC stuff started coming out, people were, able to fight different disciplines, right? Who's tougher, Taekwondo or karate or jiu-jitsu? It became one of those like who would be. So they created this show where if they pitted historic figures against each other, who would win based on their knowledge, their expertise, their fighting skills. And that particular episode was Alexander the Great versus Attila the Hun.
Oh,
that's right.
Horseman versus horseman.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. They went through it, and then they would go through their weapons and all their stuff. And at the end of the day, they created this scene where these two guys were in the same world at the same time and happened to cross each other. So that's what happened in that. And we were there, and that was we filmed that just north of LA. And I was in literally a skirt. It eludes me the name of what that was called again. But I was in a skirt, like that skirt that they wear, and I was freezing. And they wanted the fight to be realistic. They didn't want nice, beautiful punches and all that. They wanted this to be like a scrap.
Like make it look real.
Like you're in a battlefield and making things.
Is there a lot of training that you had to do to get ready for that? Or was it kind of just, you just kind of went and did?
Here's a day class, good luck.
No, it was very. I played Alexander twice. There was one for Deadliest Warrior, and then there was one called Battleground: The Art of War.
I remember that.
That's the
one
one.
too.
So in that we spoke Ancient Greek, which is a dead language. So we actually had an historian on set, and it was so hard to study lines where it was just gibberish to me.
Yeah, and then use it as a compelling line, like you're actually saying the sentence like you normally would.
Like you would. Like I could say to you, hey, what's in that red cup?
You don't want to know.
But I could place an object to the sentence. But here it was just like you're saying random things. So that was very difficult. So that took a lot. It was really hard to memorize ancient Greek. And then you have this historian on set where if he did, he's like, up, and I'm like, buddy, it's a dead language.
There's no one here to criticize this.
There's that one guy watching the show that's like, that's not how you pronounce that.
I'm doing this off. So that was difficult to do that. But then the fight was tough, and we were scrabbling on the ground, and I'm in a skirt, so it's like your knees are on the gravel, and
And you're getting rocks out.
yeah, it was kind of like a real thing. But Attila did defeat me, and I think because he's more of a combat fighter.
Just because he conquered Rome, I mean, Alexander conquered the known world. I mean, they got to India.
Yeah.
That allied like cavalry.
Well, the weapons got dispersed in that fight. So
Yeah.
actually, there was my 4 guys that rode up. He was there. Suddenly, the guys killed each other off, and then it was mano a mano. And then the fighting happened with, I believe it was swords at the time. Then those got scrapped and became just
It was a brawl.
Yep.
The secondary entertainment for men. I mean, one of the things we learned a while ago, kind of your network of Rangers chats. Like you said, you guys have different chats, and you being a multiple Ranger, you get to hang out in a couple.
Yeah.
So I mean, which is more fun, the Blue Ranger chat or the Red Ranger chat? and which one kind of do you have more fun being a participant in?
I mean, us red guys stick together for sure. But I feel like I know more Blue Rangers for some reason, just in my circle. Like I know more,
Yeah.
And I think Jason David Frank has been a bunch. Steve's been a bunch. He's been black and red and green.
He's been
green,
green, white. He's not
Red,
been blue.
green, white, red,
He's not been
black.
pink.
Gotcha.
He has not been yellow.
I think Jason would look great with me. Don't tell him I said that, please.
Yeah.
She's got an actual MMA career.
I've seen his MMA fights. I do not want to spar with that man.
There's a couple of those guys that are legitly trained. So I just try to put pretty in myself amongst them and
Well, you have to have
some
some sort of training, though. Like, to do the show, I feel like that's like kind of necessary to have a little bit.
You know what? They changed the format. I did train Jeet Kune Do for about 3 years before the show. But when they got to our show, it was a union show, so they were all about finding actors.
Instead of just having stunt doubles to do all the rest
So
for you. That's nice.
So our audition was literally the 6-page scene that I had to do 2 different ways. They said, come in and read this as Wes. We want this kind of a character. And then leave the room, we'll take someone else, and then we want you to come in as a totally different person as Alex. Same scene. So they wanted to see how contrasting you could be. And that's why I was always proud of that. Like I
That's
played
cool.
2 different roles, and they wanted to see, hey man, how different of a person can you become? So you're gonna walk in this guy, now you're gonna walk in, we want to see how different this guy can be. But there was no seeing our fighting abilities or anything. I mean, Deborah Phillips, our Yellow Ranger, I mean, she's like this beautiful, lanky, long, tall, like this baby giraffe. Just she's fighting, she's just like this baby giraffe. You can hear stuff in,
around the curve.
yeah, like stuff in would always be like, Deb. She's like, I'm sorry. I just hear him kick the big, oh! And she just couldn't control her long arms. But we had no training. The earlier seasons, it was all about how well you could be a gymnast or something and fight, but ours was not during that time. Yeah.
I mean, but you've done your fair share of that. I mean, one of the things I know Egypt's a big fan of you doing was in Resident Evil doing the stop motion.
The motion capture.
The motion capture on what Resident Evil was that?
6 and Resident Evil Vendetta.
It did throw me off. I think I actually told you about this last night. I didn't realize you were a real person.
Yeah.
Until I knew you from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And seeing that, it was really weird actually meeting you and being like, oh, you're not a video game character.
Yeah.
I actually know who you are now.
Yeah, those games are extremely complex. Resident Evil 6 took 2 years. Start to finish, it was a 2-year process.
How much time did you actually spend filming for it?
Some days, 4 days a week, some days 1. You know, off for the 2 weeks for the holidays, stuff like that. But that was from audition to end was 2 years.
Wow. That's a long process.
And they took us they spent thousands of dollars to bring the main cast to a shooting range to shoot all these different weapons so we could, when we get on set, we could feel how it looked so we could duplicate it.
Oh, that's weird.
We went through walkthroughs in terms of how Leon walked, how he carried a gun, and he wanted his stance to be very upright. It felt really awkward, but it was like they wanted him to be a certain way, so they were very specific on every mannerism that Leon had. And it was a 2-year process. Resident Evil Vendetta, the movie, was a 3-week shoot in Japan. And Erin Cahill was in that, my Pink Ranger, which I got her that audition.
Well, that's really cool. It's always nice if you bring up friends with you and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I got this audition, I got this part. Do you want to come with me and give it a shot?
Yeah. She got that. Yeah, I guess they're like they asked what I recommended. And she went in and earned it herself, of course, but she
Long, and I mean, we've seen you do a bunch of things, kind of just helping the family, as it were. And I mean, how much of who got the call to come to Emerald City? Was it you, or I mean, who brought who to Emerald City? Because it always seems there's always a couple Power Rangers
together,
everywhere.
Everywhere
Wants, hey, we go to this guy. Who's got it open? Who wants to come?
Steve. I think Steve is the one that got me that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
He's that troublemaker.
Yeah. I think Steve just brings me to talk to girls. I think that's what he does. Guys in Amelia and stuff like that, and that's what led to here, because I met Justin at that event, which led to this one. So,
but I mean, you didn't travel by yourself either. You had to call up a different Power Ranger to come.
They're left out of that chat.
Yeah.
They are not included.
That was just my choice, by chance.
So who are some of your personal favorite people to work with on set? Like, there has to be at least 1 or 2 people that every time you guys are filming that it's almost hard to stay serious. Resident Evil, you pretty much all open that up.
Any acting, even if it's a cameraman that I can't stay. I've known him in real life, and I can't keep my focus when I know he's on camera because he's always throwing me off and throwing me off.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's always fun working with Jason David Frank because he always makes things interesting.
Yeah.
He's a big kid. I'm sure a lot of you have met him, but he's a big kid. So I think working with him was always fun. Aaron Cahill, Michael Copon. I always enjoy those guys. Yeah.
And then you recently did, it was like the Power Rangers meetup where it was like everybody. How was that working with that
Mega
many?
Force.
Mega Force.
Super
Yes.
Mega Force.
How was working with like that many other Rangers?
Are you talking like the Ninja Steel one that just happened?
No,
I think it
Super
just
Mega
happened. Whatever
Force.
just happened.
The
It was
legendary-
something big.
The
It was something
legendary
big.
battle.
Yeah.
I think that's
The
what it was.
legendary battle.
So Legendary Battle was 5 years ago, and the
Super
Dimensions
Ninja
and
Steel.
Dangers was like 3 weeks ago.
That's the one I was talking
Okay,
about.
so
Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel, yeah. So it was it's cool. I mean, I have a fondness in my heart for Power Rangers. Like I said, I've done a lot of other stuff, but that will be my favorite.
Yeah.
So every time they come calling, I'm happy to do it. They film in New Zealand, which is really cool.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually
Yeah.
really cool.
If you look back on our Instagram, because we all post all the time, but back about in April of last year, we all had to go dark for like 3 weeks. We couldn't say where we were. We couldn't announce we were together. We had to completely be off the grid, so everything was a lot of just reposting previous stuff. But yeah, it was cool. The 10 of us came back, and for 3 weeks we filmed. We hiked in New Zealand. We saw waterfalls, beaches, and went out and.
You had a lot of free time too out there, so it wasn't just all filming for the 3 weeks.
A little bit. They gave us a little bit. I was one of the bigger plot lines in the story, so I only had like 2 or 3 days. But a lot of you guys had a little more time. Yeah, we had a few days. Yeah, a few days. It was cool.
What was your favorite part of New Zealand? I know New Zealand's a place I want to go, not just to visit, the naturalistic place.
It is. New Zealand's very interesting. There's people are very friendly. There's no lawsuits. Nobody sues anyone out there. So that's nice. It's a very interesting dynamic. There's no animals that can harm you on that island. It's there. So, but there's beautiful waterfalls, beautiful beaches. It's very scenic. We did this hike up this big mountain line or something like that. That it was. I can't believe we did it. It's kind of dumb in hindsight because. It's like, right at the beginning, it's like, there's a big fence, like, do not cross this line. Do not go beyond. And Steve Cardenas and Jeff Perazzo and Steven Schuyler are like, let's go. And, what part about this? Do not enter.
Giant warning sign, giant warning sign.
That's the
Thing where they hammered like railroad spikes into the thing.
So you have to like crawl across it?
Well, as it's not like straight up, but it's pretty 50, 55 degrees. And insurance, but I'm not ready to turn this in just yet.
No one wants to cash in that.
Oh,
right?
it was brutal. It was brutal. And I actually have not posted this picture yet. We got some pictures of us way up there. It just overlooked everything. There's like this big mountain that goes to the very top. And then you can sit out there in the rocks where and Steve would sit out there and like, one of the guys, like Steve, went out there on 1 foot like the karate kid. Like, what are you doing?
I don't think we're that big of daredevils.
No.
I think I'm a little too smart
We'll
for
take
that.
a picture.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll go with you and take a picture.
I'll be at the bottom taking pictures up of you guys like
Yeah. But it was beautiful there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got about 15 minutes left. Does anyone in the panel have any questions for Jason? Or
I just have a small question. Whenever you're wearing the helmet, how can you see?
Well, the truth of it is that anytime the helmet's on, it's the stuntman.
Yeah.
But the real helmet, not this one, of course, it has clasp on the side, so you click it, it opens up, kind of like Vader's mask, and then it siphons on like that, and then click it short. And it's like it in there because it's not like a football helmet, it moves around. Football helmets, if you play football, it stays on, but those things rattle a little bit, so those guys just have to be good at fighting.
And dealing with the
Just
rattling.
a slight, it's not
A little jiggle jangle.
Yeah, it's not going to go right with you. It's a little bit of a jiggle in there, so they seem fine. Yep.
Was it like being on Super Ninja Steel set?
Just laughing uncontrollably, taking pictures. So we you know, it's always good to see everybody. We have a good time. You know, but like I said, it's got a real, you know, high school reunion feel. We go back and see all these people that you've known for so many years. So this is pretty cool.
Also, I remember Forever Red. I remember that one.
Yeah. I hope they do that again. I think it's time. From what I understand, Hasbro has bought probably not the tires and really made this thing go. So I think you're going to see. I hope over the past into the present every year. I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, like, if you had, say, a shows, where would you see yourself fitting in as a advisory kind of cameo?
You know, luckily for me, with time travel, you can do anything. For Time Force, you could easily incorporate a reunion of the Time Force season coming back, or them coming back to us in some capacity. You know, so there's just so many things you can do with time travel, as we saw in Back to the Future, right?
Well, they also did recently. They did the Power Rangers Justice League crossover versus like in the comics.
Oh yeah.
Would that be something that you would like be super stoked to do? Like, imagine you fight on Batman.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, with Time Force, there's no reason why you couldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
Jumping universes, and I think didn't the Power Rangers do a crossover with the Ninja Turtles too?
Yes.
There was a live action of that.
That was in space.
In space.
Oh, was it?
In space.
That's cool.
To take the Time Force up against? Who would you pick to fight either against or with? You can choose either.
I don't know. I mean, I think the most recent Infinity War was pretty cool. You know, I like the way they did all that.
Power Rangers versus Thanos.
Yeah. I mean, apparently they need help, right? So, I mean, can't we travel back in time to get help before he got that fifth gem, right? So
that would actually, I think we're working on something
Yeah.
right now. Can we pitch this to Marvel? I think we're on to something, guys.
I mean, the Time Force, the Time Gem, there's stuff in
The
there.
Power Rangers just hidden in the gem.
Exactly.
You had Edward Lawrence Albert, one of basically a TV legend, playing your dad. How was it working with him?
you know, it's a good question. He was a martial arts guy. He had so many stories about like everybody. He didn't mention anybody in Hollywood. He just had a story. Oh yeah, this one time when I was a kid, on his dad's show, this happened and this happened, and then suddenly a bee came by, and he's just like, oh, this is the African bee. This thing here. He's got the thing on his hand, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, no, this one here. These guys are an actual African bee, or whatever.
It's like, how do you know this?
And he's got it on his finger, and he's just like, yeah, oh yeah, that's good. These guys are. And it's just like he just seemed to know everything about everything.
So like a Renaissance man needs.
But I think whenever you have time, because I think there's always a fascination. Like I bumped into Captain Roy on our season, the guy that played Captain, the other day at an audition, and he's just like, oh my God. He goes, I would love to do these things, you know. So I think everyone has a fascination to come out and see what he's
The Red Ranger from In Space, and I guess the topic never came up because neither of them knew, or Chris didn't know. When I told him, like, did you ever like to compare notes about what it was like to be on?
So we got about 5 more minutes. Is there any other questions?
What sort of challenges did you face being on any of the seasons you appeared in?
Challenges I faced. Like I enjoy regular scenes, but with superheroes, everything's got to be big, be broad. And let's go this way, you know, like because that's the trap and stuff like that, is to be big, you know. So that was probably my big. I think my favorite holiday is probably Thanksgiving. Just get stuff, which I can't stand. So I like Thanksgiving because I think there's just everyone's just there to be together and eat food and watch football, and it feels a little bit less about pressures of like gifts and stuff like that, you know. So that's just me. Thanksgiving's pretty cool, and my birthday.
Powering movie. So I was wondering what your thoughts were on the movie. So.
I really liked it, and that's surprising because I usually get a little bit, you know, like really start breaking that stuff down. You know, I'm always competitive, so I'm like, I wanted to be the Red Ranger on that. But I thought that the actors did a great job. I loved how they just, I think some people didn't like, I think they wanted more action, I remember hearing, but I thought it was good how they really walked you through the story. So if you came in from a spaceship and like, what is this? They walk you through who these guys are, how they got there, their backgrounds. It's so important to create character development. They're supposed to make 6 of them, is what I was told.
Wow.
Do you think, so there was definitely a cameo with and Amy Jo.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible for you to get in the movie? Even
You know, they love Time Force. They like me a lot. You know, truth be told, the original Rangers are more popular. I'd have an outside shot just because of the Time Force, just because. But we'll see. I would hope that they do it. I think the movie did. I enjoyed it. I love how they did the whole Breakfast Club.
the Tommy thing was like, Tommy? I was like, oh God, here it comes. And then it ended, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. There, or when I guess they would have Celebrity Row there, I have all my stuff there, guys. I did bring those original badges that I do sign.
Those are awesome.
So I have about 25 of those go pretty quick. But yeah, come on by. I've got a bunch of stuff to sign, or if you just want to hang out and ask more questions, I definitely bite only every fourth person. So,